there, friends! Catman here with Wolfie. Welcome back to my channel. So today, I thought it'd be fun to do baklava. So a brief history about baklava. It originated in the Middle East, but is also enjoyed in Greek and Turkish cultures. So baklava is a rich, sweet pastry made of layers of phyllo dough and nuts held together with a sweet honey syrup. And here are the ingredients. Okay, I'm going to make mine out of all pistachios, because traditionally it's all pistachios. You can use mixed nuts if you want, but I'm going to go with all pistachios. And of course, the phyllo dough. Now this stuff is super, super thin, and it's going to be really hard to work with, so this should be interesting. And now we're going to add some cloves and some cinnamon to some sugar, and mix that in with the nuts, and that's going to be the filling. And now for the syrup, it's going to be honey, some butter, and lemon juice, and then I'm going to zest in some orange peel to give it a little extra flavor. And we're going to heat this down into a syrup. We're going to add some sugar in there, and this is going to get poured over the top and hold everything together. All right, first let's make the syrup, because we have to let that cool down before we add it to the baklava. This is going to help keep it nice and crisp so it doesn't get soggy. So what we're going to do is we're going to add half a cup of sugar to a saucepan, then half a cup of honey and half a cup of water. Of course, that honey's thicker, it's going to take a little while. And we're going to heat this over some low heat. We want to slowly heat this to melt the sugar. I think that drained about enough for me. Okay, now the sugar's all mixed in. We're going to add, just a dash of clove. And we're going to juice a lemon. There's 1/2. It's the other half. Then we're going to get some zest off an orange. Just a little bit, not much. And now we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for 25 minutes. We'll turn the heat up a little bit and get it going. It already smells amazing. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. And now to make the filling. So what I'm going to use is a little food processor, and I'm going to try to just break these up into crumbs. I don't want to make a paste or a flour. I just want to break them up into a little bit of crumbs. So I'm going to try just a little bit at a time. There we go. All right. We just want to pulse this. Just watch how it breaks down. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Now we'll go for batch 2. There you go, nice and broken up. A couple little larger pieces in there, but that's about the best we're going to do. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, we're going to add in 1/8 cup of white sugar. And since this is supposed to have a really good cinnamon flavor to it, I'm going to go with two tablespoons of cinnamon. Now you can adjust this any way you want, less or more. This is my first time, so I'm living dangerous. I'm going with a lot of cinnamon. And then one last ingredient is we want just a pinch of cloves. I'm going to do something like that. And then we're going to stir that all together. Mix that in really good. Now this dry mixture is going to get layered in between the layers of the phyllo dough. And now we're going to bake it. And then when it's all done and baked, we're going to drizzle the honey over the top, and it's going to work its way through all the layers of the dough and get down through this, and it's going to be delicious. And now for the fun part, we're going to start putting it together. So I'm going to start off with a 9x9 pan, and we want to grease this because of course it's pastry, we don't want it to stick. It's kind of funny that I have a stick of butter I use only for buttering pans. And we make sure we get that good and buttered everywhere. We don't want this sticking, it's going to be a lot of honey. It's going to be super sticky. Make sure you get down in the corners. There you go. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my finger and wipe it across the edge, and that actually works really good. Especially if you're getting down in those corners. Okay. Now your phyllo dough, you're going to have to set that out ahead of time and let it thaw out, let it come to room temperature. So that it's easier to work with. Set that one over there. Okay. I'm going to get something to cut this off. We're going to roll this out. Okay, here's the phyllo dough, and as you see in the corner here, these are really, really wafer thin little sheets. They're going to be really delicate. Okay, for my recipe, I'm going to cut these in half and kind of guess the best I can. And carefully lay one in the pan. Then we're going to spoon some of the mixture in there. You don't need a lot. We're going to have a lot of layers. So there we go. And we're just going to keep going and going. You don't have to worry about packing this in or getting it filled. The honey is going to go in there and it's going to fill in all the crannies and it's going to make it really good. It's going to be like a thick syrup. Okay, it's all done and layered. Now the phyllo dough is going to be super delicate, so we want to have to cut this before we bake it, otherwise it's just going to come apart. And I think I may have trouble cutting it now, but we're going to see. Yeah. There we go. Also, cutting through this is going to help the honey get down into all the layers when we're done. It's going to soak into everything and make this really good. Okay, so like that, like that. baklava. I make my pieces big. Very carefully. Also, a very, very sharp knife helps. This stuff is really delicate. Now, you're not trying to cut all the way through to the bottom. You're just trying to puncture the top so that the honey gets in when we're done baking it. Okay. Now, of course, we need some butter. Anytime you have pastry, you have to butter or egg wash it so it browns really nice. Yeah. A lot of butter. All over. I think you're just gonna drizzle it on here. Why? Because it's pastry and it's good with butter. Okay. Now we're going to put this into an oven. We preheated to 350 degrees. And we're going to bake this for about 30 minutes. We'll be right back. Okay, here we go, fresh out of the oven. Now, while the baklava is still hot, we want to take our cool honey syrup and drizzle it over the top. And try to get a good even coverage everywhere. Now we're going to let this sit for a little while. It's going to soak in and get inside all those little layers. And let it cool, and then we'll come back. And this will be delicious. Get nice and even everywhere. May seem like a lot, but it's got a lot of layers to soak into. All right. There we go. Now this is probably going to take 2, 3, 4 hours to cool, so we're going to set this aside and we'll come back. Okay, now it's cooled down properly, and look at that. I think it came out pretty good from our first try. I can't wait to try this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. I really had a lot of fun making it. I can't wait to try this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you next week for friends. Bye-bye.